Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Fastball Sports Network WWE Today AEW podcast. I am Frank. That is Mark. Mark, how we doing?
Doing well. Yeah, I like that you said AEW at the end there. I keep joking around with you that this is kind of a big time for AEW right now. I know Frank hates AEW. He's quite.
I have talking points. We'll debate it. I'm sure.
I think you're like unfairly against them for some strange reason.
I'm not against them. I actually really like some of the things that they were doing. That last segment on Wednesday was awesome. I need more of that and less of Christian Cage, but we'll get into that.
Christian's cool.
In a minute, okay? We will start with probably the biggest news in wrestling right now, and that is the fact that WrestleMania will be held in front of a live crowd. That's good. We got to get the good lighting. WrestleMania will be held in front of a live crowd. Does this make you feel good, bad? Is this the right move? Is it the wrong move? How do you feel about this?
I mean, it's obviously great for the viewer, for me at home. I mean, I don't know. It's not full capacity, right?
They want to fit. I think I saw 45,000 in the football stadium, and I don't know what Raymond James Stadium's capacity is, but it's probably close to 100,000. So they want to be at 50%. Florida's been, working at 100% capacity in all these locations, not sporting events, but basically everything else for at least a month now. I want to say, possibly even longer. So we'll see how it works out there. But yeah, they want to fit 45,000. Hey, 45,000 is going to sound like 300,000.
Oh yeah.
Compared to like what we've been getting.
Yeah, you just hope they do it well. You got to hope they have everyone like spread out decently well, have some type of mask enforcement to a degree. But no, it's obviously amazing. This is something we needed for quite the long time now. I'd imagine this is like the open the doors in terms of, I'd imagine a few weeks out, we're going to start selling some Raw tickets and then like eventually be back to normal within a few months.
Live events are going to be tough because of the nature of WWE, because they travel from one state to another. So I don't know how.
They just shouldn't do them. Just don't do live events anymore.
I don't know how. I mean, not live. I'm sorry, like live, like Raw tapings and SmackDown tapings. I don't think they tape more than 2 shows a week, and right now, at least. I'm sorry, I don't think they would do more than 2 shows a week. The 2 shows that they tape, and then obviously NXT, which always takes place at always did take place at Full Sail University. So they're probably not moving NXT around. So it would just be the 2 shows that they'd have to get a venue for every single week. And look, it'll be interesting to see if they move forward with that. You got to think that all these sports leagues have been doing this, right? So WWE is going to want to do this. You say, oh, well, they play at their home, and then that's great, but they also go to away stadiums all over the country. So, they've kind of led the way in this, and WWE seems comfortable to follow suit.
Yeah.
I think it was a good look for WWE just to wait and see what happened.
I was gonna say, I think it's a good time now. I feel like they did a good job, not like, because I remember like around the Royal Rumble, there were a lot of talks like Vince really wants fans there. Everyone was like, that can't happen. But now, like we're months and months out from there, it feels better.
I think the big key for the WWE was the NHL and the NBA. They are indoor arenas. They're slowly putting people back. The NBA, depending on where you go, the NHL, depending on where you go. So I think those were the big keys. It was good that they just stopped, follow suit, waited to see if one of them were going to slip up. And honestly, those leagues have had a few bumps in the road, as everyone has. But for the most part, you got to think you're navigating waters that no one's really sailed before. So they've done a pretty good job. And now hopefully WWE continues that, that attention to detail, the things that they need to do to get everyone in and out of the building safely, and so we can all go about and enjoy WWE television even a little bit more, because I know that they've done a great job with the Thunderdomes, but I'm very excited for fans to be back. Very, very excited.
Yep.
That brings me to our next point. And do you want to start with AEW? Do you want to go right into AEW?
I mean, whatever you want to do, whatever you wrote down.
All right. We'll jump into it. So AEW has had a big free agent week or 2 weeks in acquiring Paul White and Christian Cage, formerly known as The Big Show and Christian in WWE. Mark, you think this is a big deal. I don't think this is a big deal. I'll let you take the stage.
I mean, it's definitely a big deal whether you like them or think they're like cool or not. They're two big names that are going there, and at worst, the level of experience and talent they have, like even if it's not in the ring or in the back, like off the screen, like there's just so much value in both of them to have. I mean, I think Christian's still cool. I think like I don't need to see the Big Show wrestle again. But I think Christian is cool. Like he came out there, he looked like, oh, this guy looks like legitimate. Like he has like a look to him, like a swagger to him. He was in the Rumble for like a minute, so I didn't really get to see him there. But like he looks like he can still go. He was obviously out for a long time with the injury, but like I think it's cool. I feel like you're just kind of like throwing water on it because it's AEW. I feel like if Christian came back and like in WWE and did something cool like this, then you would think it was cool. You know what I mean? Like
Now,
that,
wait, I have a question. The equivalent of Christian did come back to WWE
no,
and
it's
won the
not the
Royal
same
Rumble,
thing.
and you've been hating on it ever
I
since.
don't want him to win the AEW title.
Well, that was the tweet. Did you not see the tweet the other day?
What was the tweet?
It was him holding the AEW title
He's
saying,
not gonna win. He's not gonna beat
could
Kenny
this be
Omega.
the future for AEW?
No, it's
Well,
not.
I mean, they've put it on Jericho. I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility. I don't think they're going to take it over Kenny Omega in the media, but just to say he's not going to win, I don't think
now.
Fair.
Well, if Edge came back for a year or 2 years and had like a good run, and I'd probably be a lot more open to it. Instead of him coming back, getting hurt, coming back again, winning the Rumble.
It feels hypocritical of you to be like, okay, well, Christian's really cool, but Edge is really lame.
It's not the same thing at all, though.
It is the same.
No, it's
Only
not.
Edge is a way bigger deal.
Edge is fighting Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, Edge is a main eventer.
He's not anymore.
But he is. I mean, he's still a big name. He's still a big draw. That's why he's in the main event of WrestleMania.
You're saying Christian's not as big
as a draw as Edge is.
He's not, but like
neither is Paul White. I keep wanting to call him Big Show, but I know
it's not hypocritical because I am not okay with Edge being in the main event of WrestleMania. I would not be okay with Christian.
I think Christian's going to be in that championship title picture very soon.
He'll lose to Kenny Omega at the next pay-per-view. It's not the same thing.
All right. Listen, I think that it's the main event. It's the match. You don't know if Edge is taking that title for sure. So
regardless if he takes it or not, he's in the main event of WrestleMania against the biggest star in the company.
Christian's going to be in the main event at their next pay-per-view against the biggest name in the company.
It's going to be their next show. It's going to be like a random Sunday night, whatever. I don't know what.
Okay, well, they don't have a WrestleMania, so that's not really fair. They don't really have a WrestleMania.
Well, this is
they have All In or All Out.
This is the show that WWE sets up as the biggest show of the year.
Well, I'm just saying that he's currently in the same position as Edge. He returned in a big spot, got the champion. He's going to get the championship.
It's not the same. It's not the same. Edge won the Royal Rumble. And I was fighting Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Christian's did like literally the same thing, just because AEW doesn't have these big things for them to win. But Christian came or made his debut.
Christian walked down and like got in his face at a random AEW Dino. It's not the same.
It's the same.
No, it's not.
It's no way.
They're giving Edge these accolades that he should have gotten a decade ago, and not now. Like he's in the main event against Roman Reigns, and he won the Royal Rumble.
He's already won. He's already main evented WrestleMania and won the Royal Rumble. These aren't accolades he didn't get 10 years ago that he's getting now. They're just adding on to a career.
He shouldn't do it again.
Edge looks better than Christian.
I haven't really seen Christian wrestle, but Edge looks terrible.
No, I'm saying just like look.
I disagree.
I love the beard. I love the grass.
Edge looks really old.
Yeah, but it's like a cool, like old man Logan looking.
I mean, like listen to yourself. Like, oh yeah, it's cool though. Like, come on.
No, it's like not like the Undertaker. He looks like he can't move. Old.
Well, yeah, he's not the Undertaker, but like he's still.
It's like he got old, but he still got it. Like type of old.
Agree or disagree? It's like I mean, like he looks like he shouldn't be wrestling. He looks like he should be at the corner asking for $1 with his fucking disheveled hair and his gray beard. And it's like, give me a break.
Disrespectful. So disrespectful to the rated R superstar. But yet here you are all excited that Christian Cage is in a.
Listen, I'm not like losing my mind about Christian.
You're not going to watch. Oh, and then we have to go over one more thing. But go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
I'm not like, this is the coolest thing ever. They got Christian. But I'm like, this is pretty cool. And you're like, no, it's not. Like, this is like the in-between. And I think I
think the reason why I'm like, no, it's not, is because the way they built this up was like they had this big superstar coming. Yeah. And like, I never thought it was going to be like Punk. Like I was like, no, I was like, that's not happening. And even Brock Lesnar, I was like, okay, maybe what's his name just emptied the vault and gave Brock like a blank check for $20 million, something like that. But I was skeptical about it, but I was like, okay, like they're gonna get somebody big from Japan, or they're gonna get somebody that's huge name from the independent that people have been talking about. And then I don't know, Christian and his mantra is like he's gonna like outwork everybody. I don't what is that? What
I don't know.
is
Why are you
is this
asking
like a
me?
thing that he's had? Like no, because like you get this guy and he's so established, and that's the one reason why I actually really like this for AEW is because he is super established, like what you said. If he could play that veteran role, even like Big Show with his Paul White with his veteran experience, that could be really good for some of the younger people there. But what is this out like if you have a guy, he's like he was Captain Charisma. I don't know what his TNA gimmick was, but don't you want to play off like those gimmicks? You know what I mean? Like
I
now
mean,
they're like creating like a whole new thing for him. He's gonna outwork
I think
everybody.
I
I
think
don't
you're
know.
looking too deep into this. Like, you gotta see what he does
It's just
for.
a weird gimmick. You're right. I'm not gonna grade it as a whole. I just think the execution on the big reveal was just it was subpar. I think that's what killed it for me overall. You
No, that's
know,
fair. And I
I
I
don't
said
dislike Christian. I just don't think he's like that amazing.
I
I don't
said
know.
that to you. I was like, they shouldn't have hyped it up the way they did. They shouldn't have had the Big Show come out and being like, "This is going to change the landscape of everything." Like, everyone watch out, because at that point, it was a little underwhelming when you saw Christian, but I still think it was cool. Like, I think it was like,
It
"Oh,
would have
this
been
is cool."
cooler if Sunday morning they just dropped a tweet like, "Oh, there's going to be a sixth man in this ladder match," or like if they set it up somehow like that, where it's like just the day of, and then speculations start building and building and building, but you're not expecting the biggest acquisition in the history of sports entertainment since Hulk Hogan joined the NW. You know what I mean? Like it's not you're not setting yourself up for that kind of failure. I don't know. I'm not. I like if I gave it a number, I'd say it's like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
All
like
right,
completely
so
against it.
I agree with you, but the way you said it on Sunday, it was like a 3. You were like, "This is not funny. This is
Because
not
in the
cool."
moment I was a little disgusted. Like and like I said, in the moment, like listening to that build and then it winds up being Christian. I was a little like disgusted. I was like, this is not the level that they've hyped this up to be. I don't know. It's like, do you remember when they did like the third man thing? It was the Shield versus the Wyatt family. I'm sorry, it was Roman and Dean versus the Wyatt family. And the third man was Chris Jericho. Where
Yeah,
we were like, who could the third man be? And we were hoping it was someone cool. And then it was Chris Jericho. And like Chris Jericho's really good. He's a really good wrestler and he's really cool. But like in that situation, in that moment, you were hoping like it was going to be an NXT call up, like a cool NXT call up, or like a free agent that they had just signed, someone newer and edgier. You know what I mean? And then it wound up being somebody that we had returned so many times in Chris Jericho. It was like it's just like it deflates. It like takes the wind out of your sail. But looking back now, I'm glad Jericho came back for that run. That run was great. But just in that moment, like it on Sunday in that moment, I was just not into it. The same thing with Paul White. I was just more surprised when he showed up than anything. I was just like,
yeah.
wow.
I said on the Big Show, I was like, "Oh wow, that's kind of a big deal." He left Vince, but not like, "Oh, I'm really excited to see what the Big Show does." But I think Christian could actually like offer something in the ring.
Oh no, I'm not saying that he can't offer anything in the ring. That's not what I'm getting at. Obviously, like you said, he looks like he could still go. He does look like he kept in pretty good shape. It's gonna be interesting to see. I think it's funny that they're like best friends, Christian and Edge, and they're both gonna be fighting for their promotions to like main championships at the same time. I'm sure they're like texting about that, having a good time, enjoying that.
And one of
Um,
the bigger things too with AEW, I feel like from what I've watched and what I've like gathered, they do a really good job of building stories not involving the main title. Where WWE does not do that. WWE is really, really bad besides the main title. So like maybe if Christian's in a program with like, I don't know, like a Moxley or a Pac or like a Spears or a JMF, like one of these guys, he doesn't need the title. They just have a good program. That's exciting.
yeah, no, I agree with that. I actually like AEW storylines away from or from what I've seen. Like I don't watch every week. I keep up to date, or I try and keep up to date with what's going on, but I'm not on a weekly basis. But the title storylines have been kind of like whatever to me. It's been the stuff away from the title, like you said, like the stuff with Shaq and Cody Rhodes, and the big turn that we saw on Wednesday that I think anyone could have seen coming, but was still surprising in the way it happened, which was excellent. Yeah, I think that was a really cool that they could really use him well if they keep him away from that main title. Is there anything else you want to talk about in AEW before I
No,
transfer over? Or
you can leave AEW behind. We'll move
all
on.
right, all right. So we will transfer back to the longest running episodic television show. What do they say? Longest running
Must be Monday.
must be my. All right, we'll just go to Monday Night Raw, and the Almighty Bobby Lashley finally the WWE champion. It's been years. I don't know how long. I don't know when he debuted. I don't know how long he took away, but it's been a long time coming. He definitely deserved to be champion his first stint, and I think after this year run that he's had, he's deserved to be champion again. How are you feeling about this? Was this the right move by WWE? Did they do it at the right time on Raw on a random Monday? Do you think they should have held it to Fastlane? What are your just overall thoughts on this?
I'm still pretty mixed on how I feel about this. I think it's definitely good. I preach for change nonstop. We needed the belt off Drew. We needed something different. Lashley's looked amazing, like with MVP, with the Hurt Business, and just in general during his U.S. title run. He just destroyed everyone. He got pinned like one time. I actually, I don't really know like where we go from here. Is my question. Where I think it was probably a little premature, just taking the belts right off of Miz like right away, like the next week. We probably could have pushed that to Fastlane, but I get it too. They want ratings and putting it on a random Raw and like it's really it's like a double edged sword. It's interesting. And is the match him versus Drew? Because like that doesn't really make me feel amazing. Like I don't know if there's a match here that I'm looking at like that would be awesome. Like you know what I mean? Yeah, we gotta wait and see.
I think it's Brock, right? That's the one that everyone wants to see. They
I
really
think
hope that
that's
they
the
get
only one
Brock,
that like
but
really jumps out the page at you.
the Fastlane, like he's defending the title against somebody random, and then Brock comes out and just kills him. Like that's what people want to see, right? Like I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if Brock. It feels like Brock is pretty content to just stay home and wait out COVID. Like I
Yeah.
don't think he's done in WWE, or I don't think he's done in wrestling per se, but I don't think he's in a rush to get back. Maybe there's gonna be fans in the stands. He heard that announcement. Vince is in touch with them, like, hey, I'll give you, a nice cool paycheck to come lose to Bobby Lashley, or maybe come and beat Bobby Lashley. I don't know. I don't know how Vince would want to book that, but I think that's definitely a possibility. Maybe not. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I think Keith Lee's interesting, but he's not even on TV, so you got to assume that's not happening. It feels like it's gonna be him and Drew, but like I don't know if they're gonna get another guy involved with that. It's
Keith
kind
Lee
of
isn't on
weird.
TV because he's injured.
What was that?
Keith Lee isn't on TV because he's injured, but no one knows the precise injury. Like no one knows how injured he is,
Like,
but he's not on TV because he's hurt. I assume that he'll be right back on. It seemed like they were trying to make him like a big deal. I don't know.
am I in the wrong to not be excited about like a Drew versus Lashley singles match at Mania?
No, it feels like we're going backwards, not forwards. But then again, at the end of the day, as long as Bobby leaves with that title, um, which I'm not sure that he would, but as long as he does leave with that title, it's just like whatever.
That's the other
Um,
part. It's been like weird because he's like one of the biggest heels, but like on Twitter, everyone's congratulating him because like in real life, he's a great dude and he hasn't. This is his first time winning, like, so it's like a big deal. He's been in the company 20 years. He's never won before. So everyone's like, "This is awesome, Bobby. You rock." He's like responding to everyone like, "Thank you so much. Like you helped me along the way." But like then he goes on TV and he's like mean mugging and stuff. So it's kind of like weird from that angle. But I don't know.
yeah, that's something we're probably just gonna have to accept in this age of
No, that's what I'm
2020.
saying. Just like I need like more time to
2021.
process the whole thing and see where we go from here. Like he
Well, I
kind
mean,
of
do we even have a fast lane match for him yet?
he probably won't fight at Fastlane.
You just think they'll just won't do it?
Probably not.
Might not be the worst idea to just keep him off of fast lane. Um,
Maybe the Miz a squash match or something.
all right, so if you could, we're gonna actually do a little fantasy. We're not fantasy booking. We're gonna just book WrestleMania because of the news that we got, which we'll go over later. So I'll save the who do you think it's gonna be for a little bit later, so you could sit on that and think about that. We will move on, and my note here just says let Mark talk about Lacey Evans. So Mark, go ahead, talk about Lacey Evans.
So the rumor that came out was she was supposed to beat Asuka for the women's title. They were about to fight at Elimination Chamber prior to her getting pregnant in real life. And I was really upset by that. I said for a long time, I really thought that she should be the champion. Like she was sitting around doing nothing on Raw when Asuka was sitting around doing nothing on Raw for a very long time. And no, I thought it would have been a really cool change of pace, something different. Peyton Royce is getting some mainstream attention now after a great promo she cut, but yeah, that sucked. I wasn't crazy about the Ric Flair story, but like it still was interesting to me. I'm sure she would have been a champion for a week until Charlotte took it off of her, but it's still like it would have been cool, would have been different. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like I think Lacey would have won it there, and then Charlotte would have won it at Fastlane. You know what I mean? Like,
You mean Lacey would have won it at Elimination Chamber and Charlotte would have won it at Fastlane?
Yeah, like
Would
probably.
have been interesting.
And then Charlotte's like the 12-time champion already, and then she would have probably lost it to Rhea. I don't know. That's a little ahead.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, Mark is Lacey Evans' biggest fan for sure. I don't know anyone that maybe it's her daughter and then Mark.
I
I'd
think
probably
she's
put
really
like
good. I think she's really, really good.
I definitely don't dislike her.
She has great music. I like her gimmick.
Loves
It's
the
great.
music. He loves the sirens.
Her
that come
gimmick's funny. She's a good finish. It's just a punch, but like she really sells it well. Like
It's just a punch.
the woman's right. It's like a good name. Like it's cool. Like I like what she's about, and it's just it sucked. It was bad timing, but like good for her that she's pregnant, I guess.
All right, that's fair. It was terrible timing, but listen, I'm not gonna sit here and like kill her or the company or anybody. Like, she got pregnant, like it happens.
I
It's
could be more
natural.
upset about the 6 months that she was healthy that they didn't touch her. I could be more mad about
There you go.
that.
There you go. If you want to get angry or something, get angry at that. Okay, let's head over to NXT for a little bit and let's talk about Adam Cole first and Kyle O'Reilly. And that seems to be the singles match that they're going for, right? Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. We have two more members of the Undisputed Era or of the ex-Undisputed Era now in Fish and Strong. What roles do you think they're going to play in this feud? Because we know it's going to be O'Reilly and it's going to be Cole and it's going to be great and they're going to be at each other's throats. But I want to know, what role do those two play in this feud? Is Fish back? I
mean,
haven't seen Fish.
Strong is already like heavily involved with this. Like he's in the middle of this already. Fish is hurt. I don't know like how severe it is. I haven't really looked
It
that up.
really stinks that he's not healthy right now, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're not thrilled about that timing wise. I mean, I could see them doing like a Fish takes Adam Cole's side type of thing, and like it's like a 2-on-2 scenario. But I don't know. I'm not sure if like the three of them are going to keep the club going and just kick out Adam Cole because he ripped off his armband. So like maybe that's like a you're out, but we're still a thing type of. I'm not really sure where they go from here. I don't know a lot about Bobby Fish. I really don't. To me, he was always like the other guy. Like
The fourth guy. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, like the other three are like kind of like stars, like borderline. Like well, Adam Cole is main eventer, and Bobby
Yeah.
and Strong and Kyle O'Reilly are like.
I mean, Roddy Strong was the singles guy for the mid card, and he was phenomenal. And when they did NXT in the Survivor Series, he got the big win in the mid card match. I mean, he's phenomenal. And then Fish, O'Reilly, they've really built up lately to be another guy. But yeah, you're right. Fish is one of those guys that hasn't. What about this? Would you want to see a fatal 4-way match between the four of them?
I mean, it would definitely be interesting. I don't know if that has like the impact for me that it will probably have for a lot of other people, just in terms of like.
I think that would be sick, like match wise. Like they would just
Yeah,
because they probably have so much chemistry built up from tagging together. Like you know what I mean. Like that match would probably be that's a main event caliber match on any show. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think that would be really really cool. Again, we don't know the health status of Fish, so that kind of stinks.
I mean, it's really tough to say because like WrestleMania, I think they're probably gonna have a match at WrestleMania. I think they want the NXT Championship on the Mania card. Is that true? I saw that was a thing.
That would make sense. I would definitely. WrestleMania is one of those shows where it's like NXT like does their great things with Takeover and stuff like that. But I feel like if you're making them this third brand and they won at Survivor Series last time, but they didn't come this, just put them on the four major shows. You know what I mean? Like the NXT Championship and the women, maybe not all their the mid card titles and stuff like that, but the NXT Championship and the NXT Women's Championship should both be defended at the four main shows: Survivor Series, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam. Right? Like put them on those shows. They're a third brand. They should be on the big four.
That's fair.
I don't know, just my take.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, this has all the makings to be very interesting. And Wednesday nights are my favorite nights in WWE television right now.
It seems like they took Finn out of the picture now. Finn's going to do the Carrying Cross program. I thought he was going to stay involved, but I guess they're just going to have Undisputed Era here and Finn here. That's fine. I just don't know. It's tough to see where the Mania or the big takeover match is right now. Like in terms of
right.
I think Finn probably beats Cross. I think Finn probably retains there, unless they want Finn to like come up or do something different. I'm not really sure.
I really don't know with this one. Like, I really don't know. Cross hasn't lost yet. And
Okay.
like Finn's not dead. Like Finn's not dead in the water. If he, he had like a six. If right, it was
He's
November.
like really hot right now though.
Was
Like
it
he's like a
November?
really good.
He is. This is a really tough. I mean, this is the Mania match, right? This is the Mania match if they're gonna do it at Mania. And I actually don't know because there's a takeover happening.
I was gonna say there's
There's a
not gonna do
2-day
this yet.
takeover happening on Wednesday and Thursday. So they're not going to do it at Mania, but this is the Mania takeover. We'll call it the Mania takeover because they always do takeover for a pay-per-view.
You think
This is the
it's
main
a singles
event of
match?
that.
It's these two in a singles match, you think?
Yeah, I think it's yeah, I think that's the match. That's what it should be because like I said, I don't think I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure Cross hasn't lost yet. Or not pinned clean in the ring, at
He
least.
was injured. That's why he had to drop the title when he.
That's why he then right, and they took the title off of him, and Scarlett flipped that timer, and she said, "We'll be back," and now they're back in it, and Finn did the point thing at his head on Wednesday night, and it was all excellent, so good, so entertaining. But yeah, this is a match that I'm really excited to see, just because strictly from a booking point, like forget the wrestling, strictly from a booking point, I'm very curious to see how they're going to book this. You say keep it on Finn?
I think so, unless they have like a plan for him to come up, but they probably don't. He seems to be doing really well down there.
He would be a big boost to Monday night.
It would really help. But I mean, he would just get like smothered in the
Big
mid card, and
Yeah.
it'd be terrible.
I think Bobby Lashley was his last main event feud actually before his last main card feud before going to NXT. And now, who knows, maybe they could rekindle that rivalry.
That'd be cool.
All right. So before we get into WrestleMania, what is going on with Fastlane? Like do we have matches for Fastlane? Like off the top of your head, who's wrestling at Fastlane? Confirmed matches that you know of.
Daniel Bryan versus Roman. Is that it?
I believe there's one more. I had it pulled up.
The tag team match, maybe, or
Yes, women's tag team championships. Nia and Shayna versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks again.
I'll do it again.
Again.
All right, so Reginald will get involved again. It's a waste of time.
Again.
But I mean, like I said, I don't think Lashley fights. Maybe he takes on Miz in a quick little thing, or like Morrison in a quick little thing or something. But let's think. Hurt Business, the tag team champions, will probably like beat Sin Cara and his friend.
I think you should probably get Edge on this card at some point in time just to again keep that tune-up going. I think Jey Uso is probably a good match for Edge.
Are you going to a singles match?
I think they should just do something like that. Sheamus and McIntyre are going to have their blow off at Fastlane. I
don't think Edge wrestles. We probably just get like a stare down. He probably walks out after Roman wins, and they look at each other.
I really feel like he keeps saying like he's not here to do this part time. He wrestled on Raw against Randy. That was great, but I feel like he's got to show up to Fastlane and
probably afraid like to have him wrestle. Like, I'm serious. Like he wrestled like once and he tore like everything in his arm and he missed 9 months. Like they're probably like trying to be really, really careful with him, which they probably should be. He shouldn't be. Shouldn't be.
But also, if you're gonna be careful, you should probably have him wrestle like a few matches every month, right? Like 1 or 2 matches every month, right? Because I feel like it's worse to just keep him on the sideline. I mean, I don't know how this stuff works. Maybe it's not.
I'm sure he's doing like performance center stuff every week.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see because I don't think SmackDown has a ton coming out of this pay-per-view right now. McIntyre and Sheamus.
So like my problem with this is like McIntyre won clean last week, and then like this week it was like we're not done yet. But why? They had a really good match last week. The Drew won clean. It should be done. But then this week. And it was Samoa Joe came out. It's so clear they have no idea what they're doing in terms of like the storytelling and like the booking. Samoa Joe was like, this week we had a definitive answer to see who's better. Like we got that last week. Like it wasn't like last week wasn't like a shady fit. Like this week's finish should have been last week's finish, and then this week's finish should. You know what I'm saying? Like this week they
Yeah.
finished by running into the steps, and like it was like a
I
double.
don't think it's over though, right? Like that.
No, it's not. But that's the
It's
problem.
not.
Like if they had this last week where it was a double knockout, and then this week Drew won definitively, then like yeah, that makes sense. It's over. But now like Drew won, then it was a double knockout, and now it's like is Sheamus going to get a win now, and it's going to be the 50-50, and then Drew goes over. It's like why are we doing this? I just don't get it.
United States Championship match. Ray, you probably want to put Riddle on this card, right? And just have him defend. Easy win.
He'll fight Ali.
Okay. Big E and Apollo Crews.
Seems safe.
Does Apollo go over?
If he doesn't, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know.
I have to say, I'm not into the gimmick that he's got going on, but I tune in every week to kind of see what's going on with it. That's for sure. Just to see like what he's gonna say, you know.
It is what it is.
I know you don't really care, but I find it funny. I'm like, where are they going with this?
I think it's a little silly how like they've done this before, like guys like Jinder Mahal and others who just like randomly like go into like their roots and like
The heritage.
remember that like they're actually a terrible person, but forgot it all these years. It's interesting.
So do you think maybe we get Asuka defending her championship, maybe against the Peyton Royce, and then beating Peyton
Asuka's
Royce?
hurt. Well, what's her name? Shayna kicked her teeth out. Did you see that clip?
No, I don't think I did.
Kicked her in the face, and like it was really stiff. And they actually showed the replay. Like her, like two of her teeth like came out of her mouth. It was like really.
Poor Asuka.
Yeah, so she's like legitimately out right now. Unclear. I doubt Fastlane, but I definitely
Should probably be fine to go by WrestleMania. I think the plan. I mean, like you got to think that once they definitely weren't taking the belt off of her, that she was going to hold it till WrestleMania, right? Like
probably I could see like some big multi-woman match at Fastlane. Winner fights Asuka, like Charlotte, Peyton, Mandy, Dana, and like
and a returning Becky Lynch. Oh my God! No, we got sad news with Becky Lynch. You know, her father died. So she's not watching this, but thoughts and prayers. But she's not watching this, so it doesn't.
but like Rhea Ripley's vignettes are still coming soon, so like I don't know if that feels like the Raw after Fastlane to me. Is what I hope / think maybe at Fastlane she shows up, but like
I would keep Rhea away from the title right now.
there's no other story to put her in besides the title. There's nothing. There's no.
Have her like
There's no
beat
stories
up
going on.
Peyton Royce or something like that. I don't know.
There's no reason. Like she's a star. Like that's the problem. That's what I was saying about.
I don't
AEW.
know. I don't know if that's. You think that's the match? You think it's Rhea and Asuka?
I think it's Rhea and Charlotte, or Rhea, Charlotte, Asuka.
How does Charlotte get into this match? Right? Because if Asuka's not wrestling, they're not going to just make her forfeit
They'll
the
just
title.
have her like win. Charlotte just beat her on Raw.
There's no way.
There's a way.
There's no way.
There's a way.
I don't think it's happening at all. Like they're not just going to take the belt off of Asuka to take the belt off of Asuka.
Why?
They built her up for a year. They did this for a
They
year.
didn't build her up for a year. They had the belt.
Had the belts for a year.
There's a difference between building her up for a year and having the belt on her for a year.
She's a big deal. I know you don't like her, but she's a big deal.
No, I like her a lot. That's not it at all. They don't like her.
What do you mean? They've kept the belt on her for so long.
Because they don't book the women. There's no stories with the women. They don't matter to them. Like Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley matter out of the current group. Becky's not here. No one else matters. Bianca matters now. No one else matters.
I think that I can't see Asuka unless she loses at Fastlane, like at a pay-per-view. I can't see her not being champion.
She drop in the main event of Raw to Charlotte.
It just feels so stale.
It is.
But
it is.
I do like your idea of a multi-woman match in which Peyton Royce obviously now has to be in. Who else would be in that match?
It'd be Charlotte, Peyton, Mandy, and Dana are gonna stake their claim. I mean,
right, Mandy and Dana had that promo.
I think Naomi and Lana are a tag team now, so they probably won't. What are the other girls on Raw? Are there anyone else?
Yeah.
So like that.
I think that's it.
Listen, Asuka is a big deal. I definitely like her. That's not the issue here. It's just like they don't care about her. Like name a good feud she was in since she took the belt off Becky. Name an interesting storyline she's been in, and you can't. And she had the belt for a year.
The Sasha and Bailey stuff, that was good.
It was carried by Sasha and Bailey.
I mean, that's not fair.
I think it is. It was Sasha and Bailey's story. She was a prop in their story.
Yeah, but then Asuka came out and like killed them both, and then remember like Bailey had the open challenge, and then Asuka came out like she was a big deal in all of that, just as much as that was a 3-part thing, and then like she came back out for her revenge in that open challenge. That was so much fun, and then Bailey like barely got away, and that was the pay-per-view before Sasha took it off of Bailey.
It was very clear that it was Sasha and Bailey's story.
No, that's not fair.
How they were going
Asuka's story as much. So Asuka fought twice in one night.
They were going show to show, winning every title.
Asuka fought twice in one night in that, and she almost beat Bailey, and then she did beat Sasha, which is so weird. I don't know why they book it like that.
It was still it was like to plant more seeds of
win the first one and lose the second one.
I mean, like no, she was like she held her own, but like it wasn't her story.
She came out of that feud looking better than any of them.
And then what'd she do?
I mean, listen, I can't tell you.
They never cared about her. They never.
Okay, in her defense, what have they done with Sasha Banks since she's had that? You know what I mean? Like since she's had the SmackDown Women's title.
Beat Carmella.
She had to blow off with Bailey,
the girl who won the Royal Rumble.
Well, now she is, but that could have been Asuka too had they decided to give it to Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like that could have been the same thing. Like if they gave Charlotte the Royal Rumble, it's the same thing that's happening on Raw.
That's a match we've seen 90 times though, so it's like
right, 100 billion times. But again, that's not Asuka's fault that you've seen that match before.
It's not her fault, and I'm making that clear. It's not. I'm not blaming her. It's just like they don't care about her.
I'm just saying that like I think they care. I just don't think they're working with enough on Raw.
I mean,
it would have been better to have Carmella come back on Raw.
Yeah, that would have made sense. I mean, it would have made sense to have a lot of different things happen. They could have had Bianca challenge Raw. They could have had
that's what they should have done.
Lacey Evans could have been involved. Like I said, like she's legitimate. Like she's credible. I mean, they're making Peyton matter. Like there are things they could have done they didn't.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see if that would be like.
It was doing like tag team matches with like Dana Brooke and Mandy, and like it was just like
that was against Nia and Shayna because that's another big problem with Nia and Shayna where it's like you kind of need them as singles competitors on Raw, but they hold these tag team championships. Like just give them to Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott already.
It's messy.
It is messy. It is messy for sure. That we can agree on. Anything else like Fastlane wise that you think like must happen on Fastlane? Obviously, Sasha's not wrestling in solo until WrestleMania. She'll go 4 months without defending that title.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but she's like mid big storyline with.
No, I know, but it's just like Roman's out there defending that title against DB, and it's like a big deal. It's like the winner goes to the main event at WrestleMania. Like Bobby Lashley like cashed in his ticket to go to WrestleMania. Charlotte's like talking about the women's championship match in WrestleMania. Sasha's just like, yeah, I'm going. Like I don't need to wrestle.
She has her match already. So what do you want her to do?
Yeah, she has her match, but the match is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's not Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. That's like saying Roman Reigns has his match already.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
What I'm saying is like Sasha hasn't like wrestled for like all the other 3 belts, right? They're like making a big deal out of like the champion goes to WrestleMania, right? The champion goes on to WrestleMania, right? But with Sasha, it's just kind of like I don't need to defend.
Bianca won the Rumble and challenged her. What do you want her to do?
But Edge won the Rumble and challenged Roman, but he's still got a fight on Friday. Like he's challenging for the title. He's not challenging the person. Edge doesn't care if Roman shows up to WrestleMania with the championship or if Daniel Bryan shows up to the championship.
He challenged Roman.
And for some reason, Bianca Belair cares that Sasha Banks shows up instead of Carmella. Doesn't make any sense.
He challenged Roman. He didn't challenge.
There's your continuity, okay? You want to talk about continuity? Like, again, Bobby Lashley talking about that title. I'm going to the main event at WrestleMania.
But yeah,
first of all, there's 4 main events at WrestleMania, you know?
But Roman screwed Daniel Bryan after the Elimination Chamber, so like it made sense that Daniel Bryan wants his.
Roman didn't screw anybody. He just wrestled. He just went out there and wrestled his.
Well, Drew was in the match and he wasn't.
Which match?
The chamber. Drew
Yeah.
was in his chamber. Roman walked out after his chamber and beat the guy.
Yeah.
So like it makes sense that Daniel Bryan gets his rematch that he's definitely going to lose. Like it's
Yeah,
just
but
like
what I'm saying is like when Bobby cashed in, he was like I'm sorry, not when Bobby
he did
beat Miz.
cash in even though he shouldn't have been
He
allowed to.
did. When Bobby beat Miz, he was like the promo that they cut was like, I'm going to WrestleMania as WWE champion. You know what I mean? But like when with Roman, like Roman and DB, they're talking about going in to WrestleMania as Universal Champion. I'm sure Asuka she had teeth right now, would be talking about that as well. But Sasha, it's just kind of like a foregone conclusion that she's in that match already, which again is fine. I really am gonna enjoy that match, that Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair match. I just think it's funny the way like the other three are like this, and then Sasha's just like, nah, I'm just going to WrestleMania. I'll see. I don't need to cash my ticket. My ticket was cashed when I beat Carmella at the Royal Rumble.
I mean, Asuka. How many times has Asuka defended her title?
Okay, but she was going to at Elimination Chamber, and then her opponent got pregnant.
And she was going to lose.
Maybe.
The plan was for her to lose.
She very well could have lost. But what I'm saying, then
I know, but like it's more of the girl's problem.
But what I'm saying is then Lacey would have came out and been like, look, see this? Now I'm going to WrestleMania. And then she would have lost to Charlotte at Fastlane, and Charlotte would have held it up like, I'm going to WrestleMania.
The girls aren't booked well. It's very clear. I said 4 of them matter. It's a problem when 4 of the 15 matter.
It's an issue for sure. Okay, so the last bit of thing that we have to go over today might be a long one. We're talking about pay-per-view cards, and the rumor has it is that Vince has scrapped most of, not all of, most of WrestleMania. Got to assume that again, Sasha Banks not defending that title. That match is safe. That match is going to go on as planned. Also have to assume that both Edge and Roman will be in the Universal Championship match. Whether it's not, it's a one-on-one. That might change, but pretty confident with that match. Other than that, is there anything you're like sure is going to happen at WrestleMania? Like no, I'm not kidding. Like, is there any like I think Bobby Lashley goes into WrestleMania as WWE champion.
Yeah.
But who he's facing, I have no clue. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think Asuka goes into WrestleMania as Raw Women's Champion. I don't know who she's facing.
Okay. I'm standing by that. Charlotte and Rhea are going to be in the Raw Women's Championship match. I don't know if Asuka will be too. I don't know if another woman, if 4 girls are going to be in that match, but I'm pretty sure those 2 are going to be in it. No, I mean, like, there's a lot up in the air. Riddle could definitely lose. Apollo or Big E could definitely lose. Like, I don't think either of them are like very safe.
I think whoever makes it out of Fastlane probably is a champ going into Mania.
Going in, yeah. I mean, I think the Hurt Business could have lost, but now they won't because Lashley has the belt, so it doesn't really make sense to take it off the tag team. So they'll probably hold it for a little bit. It's only a matter of time until the Street Profits beat Dolph and Brood. It's weird they're still the champions. It seems like what's his name?
A terrible theme song.
Otis and
Gable.
And Gable, I feel like they're gonna win the tag title soon. Maybe, I don't know.
I know you were high on the Mysterio family at one point in time. Are you still high on the Mysterio family tag?
They never win. They go out and lose every single SmackDown to either like Otis or Corbin, or
like Seth, and then Corbin, and now it's Otis.
It's like weird how I don't really think so anymore. I mean, I can still see it. Like that's something you can just kind of like shoehorn in. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of have that happen. It doesn't need a build. Like just be a nice like pop if they win, but it would be weird since they literally. I'd be like at this point, like I think it'd make more sense to have like Dominic turn heel and fight Rey in a singles match than it would to have them win the tag titles.
I know you're going to say that tag teams don't matter, and I agree with you to a certain point. But when the Street Profits had those belts on Raw and SmackDown, they were at least on Raw and SmackDown every single week. I haven't seen a tag team champion on Raw or SmackDown, like literally, like Braun Strowman almost single-handedly beat the both of them, and then Shane McMahon screwed them over. Like Ziggler and Rude, what do they even do on SmackDown? Nobody even knows. Like who is challenging them? Like the Street Profits. would need those belts back because they're the only good thing they have going in that
I mean, like
department.
even them though, they had the Viking Raiders and no one else challenged them. That was like, oh, this is fun. Like
Well, but it was like they had the thing with the New Day at Survivor Series. They had
it was a one match Survivor Series. Survivor Series is supposed to be fun and cool and different.
they had I don't know, they defended them against the Hurt Business,
It was
um
Andrade and the other guy forever,
Andrade, yeah, that was a
forever.
long
Like it's
time.
not. They didn't have.
Andrade and Garza.
They're similar to Oscar, where they had them forever, but like it wasn't much of a run.
Yeah, but like they were on Raw every week. Like I can't even say that about Rude and Ziggler.
I think they're on every week. It just doesn't matter what they do.
They just don't do anything. And like the Street Profit would like cut those promos like in the back, like selling the
Okay,
merchandise, and it would
their
be
face,
fun.
their faces, they're funny.
It
It's
would be
like
fun, and it just like this is just not it. They need those belts back.
they need to get rid of all the tag team belts. Get rid of all the tag team divisions.
No more tag team wrestling.
They actually just added more tag teams to NXT, so
Yeah.
more belts.
You thought your solution to the women's tag team championship issue was put the tag team championships on NXT. You were half
Yeah,
right.
they just made more.
You were half right.
That was not the answer.
Um so big names. Any big names you see coming back for Mania?
I mean, like Brock feels like somewhat. I don't even know. Like we have no idea of Brock, but like he feels like the only like one that could really like have a big impact.
Yeah, Brock could have a big impact. I don't really know who else, like maybe John, but I don't think John.
I think John's there in some capacity, especially with his fans. He'll run out to hype everyone up. Like he's saying he can't because of his schedule, but like he'll make it work, I'm sure. Um,
Uh, Dwayne's the other one that everyone always mentions, but I think that the only Dwayne match
that's
that we'll
next
see is
year.
with Roman, and that's not happening right now. So
Mania's in Hollywood next year. That's the Dwayne and Roman match.
that's the payoff. Is it for a belt, you think?
Gotta imagine Roman will either still be champion or reclaim the championship by then.
Hopefully he's still champion. That would be a hell of a run.
He really might be. Like I'm not ruling that out at all.
If he wins Sunday, no one's taking it off of him. You know what I mean? Like
Not until like SummerSlam at the earliest.
at least, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Let's think what else. You still think Becky a little bit? I don't think Becky's coming back.
I think there's like a small chance.
I think it's
I
too
don't
early.
know. Maybe she enters the Fastlane match that we made up.
Maybe, but I mean, like, you don't need to rush her. Like, it's like,
No, you don't. But it would be cool to have her for Mania, the first show in front of live fans for in like a really long time. But people like the fans actually like appreciate and like really enjoy. It's gonna be funny to see who they're booing at the current moment. You know what I mean? It's like funny to see who they
there's gonna
randomly
cheer
just
for
had.
everyone. They're gonna be like so crazy that they're there.
I'm so happy that
I
they're
don't know
there.
what
It's
to
gonna be like,
lose.
oh, there's Ric Flair with Charlotte. Oh my god! Like they always cheer for him anyway. That's a bad example, but yeah, that'll be super interesting to see like how that plays out. I'm just gonna cheer for everyone. It's like, oh, there's 205 Live superstar Akira Tozawa.
I think Bailey deserves a lot better. It doesn't really seem like she has a situation for WrestleMania. Like she's kind of just doing her like talk show and stuff, which is like extremely entertaining, but she held that belt forever during the pandemic, and now like she's not even involved. It's kind of lame. And that was one of the triple threat matches that made a lot of sense between those two and Bianca because she's been feuding with Bianca throughout all this. Like Bailey and Bianca have been like the feud, and like she won the Rumble and stuff. So it's been weird, but it'd be a shame if
Yeah,
Bailey
no.
if Bailey was in a big battle royal. That'd be a shame. She doesn't deserve that.
As long as I mean, if you want to make it like matter, or if you want to try and make it matter, like you could have her win it. You know, like you could always do that. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, if
it
they
would
throw
be
in
it would be
Bailey and
cool.
Asuka, and then sure, go crazy.
Um, yeah, I don't really know what the plan with her is. My assumption is that she'll be on the card in some capacity.
Oh, it should definitely be on the card. But it's just like it's kind of what I said like earlier. Like with WWE, they don't have storylines that are even kind of compelling that don't involve the titles. They can't. They're incapable of writing them. Like it's not. It's been years and years and years. Like this is not like a new thing. It's just like I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. Um, I'm very curious as to what like the New Day are gonna do. I mean, these things always wind up shaping out. I'm just wondering right now, like in my head, I'm wondering like, what was set that Vince is going in there and completely changing. And one thing I hope that he's not changing, and you're gonna disagree with me, you're gonna say you're dumb and you're not gonna enjoy this match. I really want to see Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Like I am going to enjoy that match thoroughly. I always enjoy Shane McMahon's matches, like every single time. And you're gonna be like, you're dumb. It doesn't matter, but it's gonna be so entertaining.
It's going to
It's
be
gonna be.
really tough when Braun has
He's
to sell those punches when he's going like this to him. And Braun
that
has
is. You're right. You're right. That's at the outside of every Shane McMahon match. But the upside, Shane is gonna point to the sky in Tampa Bay, and he's gonna jump off the pirate ship that the Buccaneers blow the cannons off of to celebrate their touchdowns. He's gonna jump off of the trampoline 50 feet in the air down onto Braun Strowman onto a table, and it's gonna be awesome. And he might die, and it's gonna be awesome.
no, I mean that one's fine. I mean,
That's a cool match. Like that's a cool like filler match. I don't know. Like they do too many singles matches, but that's not one where I'm just like you go into that match like wondering like how is Shane gonna like even compete a little bit, and you know he's gonna get a spot where Braun's on the floor and he's gonna do something crazy. Like, and I'm so excited for it.
I think that match. I think Sasha and Bianca, and I think Randy versus the Fiend in the Firefly match are like the locks. Those three.
You think they're gonna do another Firefly Funhouse match?
They kind of have to. He's like
They
vomiting
should. They
big
should definitely
black
do it.
sludge every week. He's been out forever. Like they had a clone Randy, like call it that also has way ran its course, by the way. But it was really cool and interesting in the beginning. It's been like 2 months of it now.
I told you the payoff is no longer between the Feed and Randy Orton. It's between Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton.
It's too much. It's like it was cool. It was interesting. I wanted to see where they were going. Now it's like, yo, enough. Where's the Fiend? What are we doing here?
You guys maybe should have picked this up like a month later than you did.
It's like it's too much.
What other like random like matches do you think might be on the card? Do you think we see multiple man matches in for either the IC or the United States? Probably one of them, right?
I think they have to for the IC because there's so many good guys in the mid card and SmackDown, and Raw doesn't matter. Like Raw, it'll be like Keith Lee versus like.
Well, I was gonna say I think it's gonna be Keith Lee versus Riddle if Keith Lee's healthy.
But I mean, on SmackDown, you got Sammy, you got Kevin Owens, you got Seth, you got Baron Corbin, you got Cesaro. Like there's like
I didn't even think about Seth Rollins and like Kevin Owens. Like, what are those guys gonna do? You know,
like Big E.
I would say they should fight each other, but they can't do that.
Uso. There's like nine good people in the mid card and SmackDown.
They should borrow my idea of the largest ladder match in the history of WWE.
They might do it. They might do it. But
and ladder 11,
that's
12.
that's another problem. That's why I was immediately really upset when Seth came back and like started a thing with Cesaro. I'm like, why are we doing this with Seth Rollins and wrestling?
Cesaro's another one. Nakamura's another one. Yeah, they have so much. They really got to move some of this talent to Raw. How did they do that? They like literally just switch the Raw and SmackDown. I don't want to get into it. It's random. I don't want to get into it, but I do wonder.
It's just like it's a missed opportunity having both Seth and Bailey, two of the biggest stars in the company, just doing nothing in WrestleMania season. It's like,
yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe Seth wins the IC championship at WrestleMania. I really
he's better than that.
I can't tell you. I mean, I can't tell you at this time what the plan for him is. I hope it's not a singles match with Cesaro. That would be brutal.
That's probably a fast lane blowover, I would think. But like, I don't know.
Nakamura should do something. It was cool when he was mattered for a second, and now
He'll lose in the Battle Royal.
Cesaro, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Can we get like a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing? Like, if they're at least not going to do something, can they do nothing together? I don't
Give
know.
him the tag titles.
That would be cool. I would be about it. Who turns heel or who turns face?
Situation for sure.
Who do you think?
What?
Would Sami turn face or would Kevin turn heel?
It'd be like weird frenemy heels. It'd be really funny and entertaining. I would enjoy it.
Yeah, that would be cool. They should definitely give those guys a chance to do that. Anything else with WrestleMania? Like any your heart's desire?
I think we're good right now. Is Fastlane a week from tomorrow? A week from Sunday?
It's not Sunday. It's the 21st, which I believe, yes. Yeah, because Sunday's the 14th. So yeah, it's a week from this Sunday. So we got the go homes of Raw and SmackDown.
We have
next
some
week.
matches to predict next week beforehand. That'd be
Yeah,
ideal.
hopefully they, put the card together tonight and Monday, because there's like nothing guaranteed. Again, I think Sheamus and Drew McIntyre are going to be on there. We need a challenger for Asuka at WrestleMania or before WrestleMania, like you say. Um, so maybe that could be a match that we
Hopefully,
see.
Seth
I don't
Rollins
know,
wakes up and remembers who he is and wants to fight Roman at Mania, and they do something with that.
but you know that's not going to happen. And
Sure,
remember,
feel a four way. Feel a four way. Seth,
I
Edge,
mean, listen,
Roman.
I'm down. That's super entertaining. I don't think that you get the outcome that you want, which is Seth Rollins winning.
Oh, Roman can win that match. Fine.
All right, he probably pinned Seth too.
You pin Edge.
He can't pin Edge. That's the only person there where I'd be like, he's not gonna pin him.
Well, we'll really make him look good. He'll take a stomp and he'll take a running knees. He'll take a spear. We'll really have to like all the odds against Edge to
So
take
like everyone's just like, oh wait, Roman's not the issue here. It's actually Seth
that
Rollins.
guy. He won the Rumble with a broken arm. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for us here. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment your WrestleMania matches that you think might maybe even happen. I don't know. We're very obviously unclear on the states of
I mean, if
WrestleMania,
they
but
don't know, how do we know?
what did you say?
If they don't know what they're doing, how do we know what they're doing?
I was literally about to say, if Vince doesn't know, how can you expect us to know? So but yeah, no, thank you guys for watching again, and have a great one.